What is going on? Welcome, guys. Welcome to episode 209 of the Micro Lab Show. I have a brand new lighter today. I have one of these electric ones. You just flip this thing. You hit the red button. You hear that? Ooh, looks like it's broken. See if I can light my candles with it. No, it's not working. Oh, there it goes. Come on. I'm just getting a lot of smoke here. There we go. Got one candle. What a beautiful candle. Let's get the second candle. Ready? Can you hear that? There it goes. Boom. I got my Yankee candles rocking and rolling. We're back. Episode 209 of the Michael Lab Show. Before we get into too much, episode 1 of the vlog series is now live. If you're interested in watching that at all, it's just, stay on the YouTube channel, just the Michael Labs Show, and you can go ahead and find my my vlogs. It's going to be I know I promised it to everybody, so right now it looks like it's probably going to be 6 a.m. on Mondays. So 3 a.m. California time, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think it's just going to be a vlog from the week. They're not going to be super complex. They're not going to be, it's not going to be focused on like fitness like I've done before in the past. It's not going to be focused on any one specific topic. It's just going to be a little bit of everything. But it's going to allow me to just be a little bit more creative in that area, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. But overall, I'm very excited to get out that extra content to everybody. So as of right now, the schedule is Monday, vlogs at 6 a.m., Tuesday and Thursday, video and audio podcast up at 6 a.m. on all audio platforms, including YouTube for my video platform. If I miss a vlog, I apologize, but the podcast is going to still be the main thing that I focus most of my time on. With that being said, I haven't done a podcast for about a week now. Like I haven't spoken on a podcast. So a lot has happened since my last episode. We're halfway done with summer, which is crazy. I feel like we just started June. Like I've been having like this past week that I've last spoken to everybody has been a huge week for me. I've been embarking in this possible new like career adventure. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's been very exciting. There's this opportunity that I might be able to reach and I might be able to execute on, which would be huge for me, huge for us, Taylor and I. We actually just got back from apartment searching, so we're beginning that transition to moving out of our parents' houses and really start living on our own. She's, job searching, I'm job searching, and it's very promising right now. It just seems like a huge step in both of our lives. We're both very young, but we both have fundamentals when it comes to like saving money, investing money. The only thing now that we have to do is really claim, independence, which is, funny for a lot of people listening. A lot of people I know who listen to this podcast. A lot of people have that. A lot of people have a house. Not a lot of people. One of my best friends has a house, and salute to him. He's done really well for himself, and I'm really proud of him. And he's actually been on the podcast before, and I'm really proud for him. But for me, it's always been this past year has really put into perspective for me how much I want to just have my own thing. And it's about time, it really is. It's about time. The excuses are done. It's going to be an exciting 6 months. Like between now and Christmas, I really do think a lot of things are going to happen for me. A lot of things are going to happen for us, Taylor and I, and it's going to be an exciting end of 2021. 2022 is going to be amazing. This time next year, I'm very excited to see where I am. I'm going to have a bachelor's degree here in 5 months, which is like, I've talked about it too much on this show, but it's crazy for me. I've never thought I would ever get a bachelor's degree. And I know it sounds dumb. A lot of people have bachelor's degrees. for a lot of people, it's just about, it means nothing. It's just what you do to get a master's, to get a PhD. But it's crazy to me that I'm going to be graduating with a degree. But that's that. I don't really have too many like things like life updates going on. Nothing really. I guess I'm done with my summer course, so I have about 3 weeks here until I start up my my fall courses, which I'm more or less excited about. I'm excited. I've been kind of dealing with like, am I excited to go back to school? Or am I not excited to go back to school? But I think the conclusion is I am. I'm excited to get back on campus. I'm excited to have in-person classes. I'm excited to get back at it, to get back a routine. I'm taking 3 courses. I think like social marketing or entrepreneurship marketing, entrepreneurship like management, and then one other course. I'm excited. I'm excited. My goal for this semester is to really make connections with people, talk to people, have conversations with my professors, see if there's even an opportunity at Towson. Like, I would love to work at a place like Towson. It's kind of like the area that Taylor and I are looking at for like apartments. But a lot has changed for me. Like, I'm excited to really have a job where, honestly, like a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't, I guess I had like this immature mindset that it was like horrible to have that. But it's not, I had the fundamentals on how to make that like an exciting thing. I can save, I can invest, I can do all that, but I want to find something that I want to help a company really grow and blossom. And I really want to be part of the growth for a company. I mean, heck, I've done that at the company I currently work at. It's exciting. I never just want to feel like replaceable. I want to put my value high enough where if I do end up moving on, or if I don't need me anymore, it's difficult. Like, there's a spot to fill. And I'm looking for that right now. I'm looking for a job where I can really, it can benefit me, and I can really benefit the company, and it's a growing opportunity for me. So that's kind of where I'm looking right now. I'm looking like management positions. I'm looking like, sales positions, just a bunch of, I need to get my feet wet. Like, I've never really worked in a management. I don't know. I've never really worked in a corporate structure. So I really just need to get out there, get my feet wet, see what's out there, see where I can test the water, see where I'm fit the most, see where I can bring the most value to a team. And then we can move on from there. And then, maybe in 4 or 5 years, there might be a new opportunity. Maybe after I hopefully land this job, it could lead me to greater things. My goal right now is to just really save, invest. I really want to get into real estate. That's something that I really, really want to get into. I've talked to a few of my buddies about it. I have one of my buddies who's already into real estate. I want to get my credit score up. I really want to get my savings up. It's 24 it's a complicated age. It's an age where you really got to start turning on the switch. And my switch has been turned on, but now it's just executing. And that's where I am. So let's get into a little bit of news. What's been going on in the world of America and the world. So it hasn't, since my last episode, I haven't really talked about it, but this Haitian presidential assassination plot from the Washington Post. This was 4 hours ago. So this was uploaded on Monday, July 12th. This is an article written by the Washington Post. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. So I think about a week and a half ago, about maybe a week ago, I think it was last Monday or last Tuesday. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. The Haitian president was assassinated. And I don't know if you've seen any of the videos, but like the people were caught immediately. There's this one wild video of like the people just stabbing the shit out of the assassinators, like in the neck. And it's crazy that it was just on like the mainstream news, but just getting the shit stabbed out of them. And there's 2 Americans who were part of the plot. I was messing with my dad. I was like, Dad, what don't you think what if it was like a CIA operative? And he was like, nah, definitely not that. But here we go. So a Haitian man arrested under suspicion of playing a leading role in the assassination of President Moïse appears to have presented himself as a potential leader of the impoverished Caribbean nation for as long as a decade. Police said Christian Emmanuel Sanin, 63, planned to assume the presidency and hire some of the men involved in the attack on Moïse as his security team. Sanin, who reportedly has lived on and off in Florida for about 2 decades, landed in Haiti on a private plane in early June with political objectives. Haiti's police chief Leon Charles told reporters Sunday. He recruited the team through a Venezuelan security firm based in the United States, but his mission changed when one member of the was presented with an arrest warrant on Mosey. I'm really fascinated. You know, everything is like, it seems like every time there's any type of news story, there's always got to be some type of suspicion behind it, whether it be like a conspiracy theory or whatever it is. And those are really, like, honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, those are fun to like pay attention to. And I'm waiting for like, you know, a lot of people hate him. I think in a lot of ways he's not a good person, but he's fun to listen to, and the entertainment value is there. And I like being entertained. I like laughing. Alex Jones, I'm really excited to see what Alex Jones has to say about this. Even like a Sam Tripoli, who's seems like a little bit more, he doesn't seem as creditable. Not that Alex Jones, I'm not like siding with Alex Jones here, but I am fascinated to see, because you know Rogan's going to have somebody on who's like a big conspiracy theorist, or maybe like that Michael guy again, who's like a former CIA agent, and they might even talk about this. But it's just, I don't know, maybe it was just a brutal attack on him and just people hated him and they just shot and killed him. But it's fascinating that so many questions remain about the bizarre plot that led to the president's fatal shooting July 7th at his home in Port-au-Prince. Chief among them, how a man who filed for bankruptcy in Florida in 2013, according to the Miami Herald, listing himself as a church pastor, could be behind the authorities have described a commander operation. A video posted on YouTube in 2001 entitled Dr. Christian Sandin, Leadership for Haiti, presents Sandin, who refers to himself as a doctor, as a potential leader of the country. In it, the speaker denounces Haiti's leaders as corrupt plunderers of the country's resources. Quote, with me power, you're going to have to tell me, what are you going to do with my uranium, the speaker says. What are you going to do with the oil that we have in our country? What are you going to do with the gold? It's fascinating. This country is they're in turmoil. There's a photo on the Washington Post thing that says Haitian citizens hold up passports as they gather in front of the U.S. Embassy in Haiti on July 10th, asking for the asylum after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. It's always been a country that's always had issues. It's a country with a wild history of like slavery, I believe. Like slavery history in Haiti. Slavery in Haiti started after the arrival of Christopher Columbus on the island in 1492. Christopher Columbus, you're a piece of shit. You've messed up everything. The European colonists that followed from Portugal, Spain, and France. The practice was devastating on the native. How was slavery in Haiti? For nearly a decade, in the late 18th century, 1700s, Haiti announced for more than 1/3 of the entire Atlantic slave trade. Holy crap. Conditions for these men and women are atrocious. The average life expectancy of a slave was 21 years old. Abuse was dreadful and routine. In 1793, the rebels freed themselves by forcing the Colonial Commission to abolish slavery throughout the colony. The colony then sent a delegation to the French National Assembly to convince the French government to the entire empire. So I guess the French were using that island. They were taking slaves and sending them to that island. What did slaves harvest in Haiti? I think it was sugar. The colony, based on the export of slave-grown crops, particularly sugarcane, would become the richest in the world, known as the Pearl of the Antilles. The colony became the world's foremost producer of coffee and sugar. And I've seen like little documentaries where they pretty much like still kind of do slavery in Haiti right now. And I've also seen I don't think this is just, if I recall correctly, they still extorted and exploited Haitian laborers on Dominican sugar plantations. I've seen so a lot of the United States, Haiti, a former sugar colony, was formed through the rebellion of slaves, yet now many Haitians find themselves completely subordinated to the private sugar companies of the Dominican Republic. Yeah, I saw something that the sugar companies of the United States use the Dominican Republic as growing. They grow their sugar there, but they don't. So they kind of give the they buy the land there to grow the sugar, but then they subcontract employees of the Dominican to grow the sugar. But then those Dominicans, they then subject Haitians and then don't pay the Haitians anything. They basically treat them like slaves. So the sugar that's grown in Dominican that we eat here is used by forced labor from the Dominicans looking to grab the Haitians to grow it. The same way that we kind of like use Nike. And the Nike that we wear is from child slavery in China. But it's fascinating. I don't know if there like too much information is going to come out on it. We'll see if a lot of information comes out on it. I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of keep it quiet, keep it on the download. They don't really talk about it. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on with that. And I'm also really fascinated with this whole Donald Trump versus big tech. You know, it's interesting because big tech has this ability, because I'm using them right now on the podcast. They have this ability to be liked by so many, but at the same time, they do abuse. They have so much power. I think like the top 8 tech companies make up over half of the growth for the S&P in the first quarter of 2021. I mean, that's a crazy number. That's a crazy number. When there's 500 companies and only 8 of them are making up for 50% of the growth. And there's a reason for that, because they are eating up every other country. They do whatever they want. They have all the information. Information is the most valuable thing in the world, and they have all of it. And that's not going away. If anything, they're just going to get bigger and bigger and stronger. And, they all banned Donald Trump. Twitter banned him. Facebook banned him. YouTube banned. He's banned from everything. So he goes after them and he sues them. And, say what you want about him, but is there too much power in big tech? This is one of the things that I think both Democrats and Republicans can both agree on, and the answer is yes. So him suing them could be a huge milestone. It depends how people deal with it, because the thing is with Donald Trump is anytime he does or says anything, even when people agree with what he's doing, they don't like him as a person, so they choose the other side. And in this situation, do you choose the other side to support big tech because Donald Trump is suing them? If the answer is yes, then I don't think much will happen. But if the answer is no, and people do support him, even if they are Democrats, even if they don't like him as a person, I think the issue is bigger than him. He could be a catalyst to really make serious change in big tech. Now, do you want change in big tech? I don't know. Like for me personally, this is just me just speaking from my experience, my life. I don't think I really care too much if big tech is huge. It does not bother me that much. But I'm also not affected by it. I don't have a show that gets demonetized for it, or I don't have like a fan base that can get completely washed away because I said something. Like, it doesn't bother me too much. I'm not that concerned about Netflix sharing my information with Facebook, or Facebook sharing my information with Netflix or whatever, Hulu, like Amazon. It doesn't matter to me. I don't really worry too much. If anything, it makes my life better. I'm also 24 years old. I think I'm younger, so it doesn't really strike me as like a concern as it would for somebody who's like 40, 45, 50 years old. It seems like the older you are, the more concern you have with big tech. The one place that is kind of concerning to me is their ability to affect to the way that they can pin people up against each other without having the way that they can take minority groups, not like race and gender, but minority groups is there's a small population of people who believe something that's not a common belief, that's not the most popular belief, but so it's a minor group, it's a small group, it's a minority of everybody, and they can take these people, put them on a platform where people are viewing, and it seems like it's a much bigger deal than it is. And then you have issues coming out of nowhere. Like, I think for the COVID thing was a perfect example. I don't think that the whole politicizing COVID was as common as social media made it out to be. We have a president up there who's just irresponsibly tweeting crazy things, saying Kung Flu and just doing crazy things, and you put it on Twitter. I think most of the country is not paying attention to it. Most of the country is working. Most of the country was trying not to die from COVID. Most of the country was doing their own thing. But when social media gets a hold of it, it seems like it's a huge thing, and then it gets circulated on like news channels, Fox and CNN. It becomes a much bigger deal than it is. I do think that's an issue. I do think that needs to be addressed. Is Donald Trump suing them going to, make them less powerful? It could. Is it going to get rid of them? Absolutely not. This is the world we live in. It's going to be adapted. I think in 50 years it's going to be regulated, like the same way that phone companies, I think within the next 5 years, are going to become a government commodity, right? And they're not going to be able to control the prices anymore. The government's going to control the prices the same way that happened to electricity, where they're in bed with the government. So they can't charge crazy prices, because once you become something that everybody needs, you can control the price. You're kind of seeing that with gas a little bit. But it is fascinating to see where that class lawsuit is going to go. I don't know. Does it really have legs? Is he doing it to just try to get himself back on Twitter and social media? Is he just doing it for publicity? Is he doing it to win votes from the Democrats? I don't know what he's doing. But I do know he doesn't do things that are uncalculated. I think everything he does is he does it on purpose. This was another thing that was really fascinating to me. The Trevor Bauer thing. So Trevor Bauer got accused for Trevor Bauer's in big trouble with big risk after being accused of assaulting a woman at his home in April and May. The Los Angeles pitcher is facing investigations by police in Major League Baseball. The answer from the Bauer camp is to assemble a dream team of celebrity solvers in his defense, including some linked to another team. So his attorney in California is Sean Hawley, member of the legal lineup. But what is really fascinating about this, so here we go. Bauer, 30, has been accused by a woman he met on Instagram of assaulting her during 2 sexual encounters in Pasadena, including choking her unconscious and punching her. Representatives for Bauer has denied the allegations and said his relations with her were consensual. So I want to look up the Trevor Bauer, which is, when I saw this come out, I was kind of bummed out because I really like his YouTube channel. I really like his social media. I thought he was fun to watch, right? But if this is true, then I'm I can't support a sexual guy who beats women. Where is this? Trevor Bauer text. Here we go. I'm pretty sure Trevor Bauer released these text messages right when all this shit was going down. All right, here we go. This happened I think this was a week and a half ago. July 1st. Okay, these are terrible images. What the heck? I had a buddy I used to live with who used to always say, "What the heck?" He would say, "What the heck?" What the heck, man? Trevor Bauer rape accuser, but it was consensual in the sense that they both agreed to what they were doing. But it seems like, okay, here we go. Here are the text messages. So she says, "Here's 100 nose kisses to make you feel better, and just know pink is so your color, Poppy." Oh yeah, pink looks good on me. She sends an emoji with this girl laying in bed who's pointing her finger like that. So she says, "Really compliments your vibes." Yes. He says, "Oh, it hits like that, huh?" Kissy face. "The pink socks stay on while cuddling." Yes, man, whatever you want. Butt off when it's time to choke me out. Thanks, you are the best. Choke me out. She's literally telling him, but off when it's time to choke me out. He says, "You want to go, huh?" And she says, "See, that was a game changer." So they've met up before. They're texting after the experience. And she said, "Choke me out." And she said, "Yes, that was a game changer." So to me, if I'm reading that, it's already happened. During sex, he choked her out. He says, "Tell me more." She said, "Never been more turned on in my life. Give me all the pain." Roar. And he says, "Really? When are you going out to when you woke up?" He said, "When you were going out or when you woke up?" She said, "Going out." Now that I know what it feels like to wake up from it, though it'll probably feel just as good when I wake up. He said, "God, you just turned me on so much." She said, "Mission accomplished. Now I just want my arm around your neck from behind." She says, "Do it harder." And he says, "Yes, man. What else does mommy want?" She says, Get a couple of slaps in there and then another handprint on my butt." Then for Poppy to tell me what else he wants, he says, "Slap in the face," or she says, "Yes, yes, yes." He says, do you know what that pain is? And then she says, I don't know, sends a picture of her face. But it's really fascinating. There is a weird thing going on here where, and this is like, I've had conversations with people about this. Taylor, when I say people, I mean Taylor. There is this thing in people. So people are into a lot of things, right? Sexually. And there is the whole world of pain and suffering, dominatrix. They want to be hurt. People want to get hurt. People want the power during sex. So there's people who enjoy getting physically beat up, physically abused while they're having sex. And in these text messages, you can tell that she is saying that that's what she wants. She agrees to that. To me, if I'm looking at this, if I was a lawyer, I would read this as they consented to this, but he went too far. And this is, I was watching a podcast, The Fighter and the Kid, Brendan Schaub, Chappelle Lacey, and Eric Griffin. Eric Griffin brought up a really good point. He says this is why these casual hookups can be very dangerous because if you don't know that person well, then you don't know where to go and when to stop. And I'm assuming what happened is she during having sex, he already has done things to her, and that she said were okay, and they were pushing the envelope. And I think what probably happened is he probably punched her or probably hit her a lot harder than he expected, because in my head, she probably said like she wanted it more aggressive. And I think he probably just like punched way too hard. And I'm not defending him. I'm not defending her. But what I am saying is this is a really important thing that people need to like pay attention to. Like casual hookups are fine. But when it comes to stuff like this, you got to be very careful. You really got to know that person. You got to have a connection with that person, because if they've been dating for a long time, if they've known each other for a long time, this probably would have been completely different. You know, maybe he probably would have done the same thing, but maybe they know each other more. I just saw this story and like I see these photos and they look horrible. Like photos include of her filling for protective order. Like she's bruised up in the eyes, which is usually a sign of being choked out. Her lip is bloody. And you know, you don't want to ever say, well, why is this coming out now? Like, has this always been happening? Is this after you signed a huge deal? Because when you say that, people think that you're just siding with the accuser, and that's not true at all. This is a really weird case. This is a really strange case because there was consent up to a point. The violence, there was consent for violence. She said, choke me out. She wanted to be choked out. She wanted to stop breathing. And when that happened, she said, thank you. I enjoyed that. So the envelope's been pushed that much. That's okay. That's consensual. He said slap. She said, okay, that's fine. You can slap. Like she was thankful for that. That happened. It should have stopped there. He went to the next step and probably punched, or probably slapped harder, or probably slapped, and maybe they were intoxicated. Maybe they're under the influence of something, and that caused her to, you don't know. Like, you just don't know. But, now he's not pitching. I don't think he ever will play in LA again. You don't know what will come out of this. Even if it does come out and let's say she drops the charges, or let's say she backtracks on what she says and she says, I acted out of line. It was all consensual. It doesn't matter, because what has happened is what has happened. He may be found non-guilty for charges, non-guilty for civil charges, but he's already guilty in society, and that's a prison in itself. And you see that a lot. People who are found guilty in society's eyes, it seems like that's the worst place to be, is guilty in society's eyes. It's almost like being guilty in prison is fine, because at least you pay your price, and then people maybe look at you different because like, you got what you deserved. But after you get out, then people know that you got what you deserve. But if you never go to jail and you're just guilty in society's eyes forever, it's fascinating to see where this goes. A few more things I want to talk about is that This is Elon Musk and Richard Branson. They're calling their people are making fun of it like the billionaires. This is what they do. They just fly planes now to space and like look at this wealth inequality. And I am not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. But this is I don't understand that reaction. I think I've had a conversation with people close to me. When you see things like this, and yes, these billionaires are making toys that fly to space, but it's the same way where cars used to not be, they had to, I look at this as innovation. Now, there's not a real value. You can't get a real statistic on it, but there is a statistic. There is a value to innovation and seeing people push boundaries and doing things that seem not to be possible. There's a value from when the impossible becomes possible. When you see Elon Musk fly a reusable spaceship to space and then back and then there and then back. When you see Richard Branson take a plane and fly to space and come back and land on a runway. When you see Jeff Bezos create a huge company that allows you to get groceries the same day or a hat the same day. It's not just about them and what they're creating. There's an innovation to it. There's a generation of kids now who are looking up to people like Elon, who are looking up to people like Richard Branson, and maybe not looking at all the negative stuff. The way that Elon has deliberately, hurt people's pockets by manipulating the market, which is completely unacceptable and frankly extremely irresponsible. And if you're a fan like me, I love Elon, but you can't look past things like that. That's irresponsible and it's arrogant and it's wrong and it's just not a cool thing to do. But because these things happen, there's a whole new generation of kids being brought up where they think the impossible is possible. And that's where growth is. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So because I watched it live because I'm a nerd. I watched Richard Branson go to space and back as a nerd. And to be perfectly honest, it was kind of a letdown, but it was super cool when he blasted off. He was at like 50,000 feet, and then they went to 50 to 260,000 feet in like 2 to 3 minutes. Like, just took off. I think it's the beginning of the future. Space exploration is one of those things where it seems like it's only for the rich, but I don't think that's true. The same way where the Roadster came out in 2013 or 2011, it was a $130,000 car, but in 2023 they're going to come out with the $25,000 hatchback. You give it 10 years, I guarantee space travel is going to be part of everybody's life. It's going to be a vacation. People say, what's the value in it? The same way that there's value of going to the Grand Canyon, because you're seeing things that are greater than you. I don't think it's about the utility. I think it's about, I don't know, like people see the 7 wonders of the world. Well, what's more wondrous than the world itself? Seeing the world. I think there's real value in that. And people are saying, oh, it's a billionaire race. Look, this is like the downfall of America when you have billionaires making spaceships trying to reach space. And I get it. I understand that. I empathize with you. I totally can see how that's unfair, especially when you are struggling to pay your bills. Like, I just went through Baltimore yesterday, and just horrible conditions for people. I get it. The wealth distribution is wrong. But at the same time, I think seeing these people accomplish these amazing things are extremely important too. You need people to look up to. That guy flying to space yesterday, seeing the CEO fly to space, I guarantee 1,000 kids on the planet watch that and were like, oh my God, that's possible. And those kids are going to make changes in this world that you've never even expected. And that's incredible. And that's extremely valuable. But I also understand how annoying it can be when you're somebody who is barely getting by and you watch guys like Richard Branson and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos make billions of dollars a year, especially Elon and Jeff, make billions of dollars a day, a month, and they fly spaceships to space in their free time just to be the first, But I do think that those people are needed. And if you really want to look at it, like richest people of all time. If you really want to look at it, the 10 richest people of all time. This is with adjusted inflations. Genghis Khan, number 10. Bill Gates, number 9. Alan the Red, number 8. John D. Rockefeller, 7. 6. Carnegie. 5. Joseph Stalin, hilarious. 4. Akbar the First. 3. Emperor Xinzong. 2. Augustus Caesar. And 1 was Mansa Musa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like not even in the top 4 were modern day people. You know, like Joseph Stalin was one of the richest men of all time. Also probably one of the most, I would say one of the most evil people of all time. He's so fascinating. Like Stalin is so fascinating because he has been able to make it through history and he doesn't get compared to Adolf Hitler, which is like crazy to me. Like there's people that I've wondered why Adolf doesn't, or why Joseph Stalin doesn't get attention like Adolf. And I think it's because the concentration camps were they got a lot of attention, as they should. They were horrible, but he was such a provocateur. He was such a, he was out in the public's eye a lot. He spoke a lot. He didn't hide what he did. He was an evil man and he was proud of it. Joseph Stalin, on the other hand, was a quiet man. He killed people out of the eyes of the world on farms. He didn't feed his people. He kept people in the gulag. Like he did these things that made him less popular, whereas Adolf Hitler was so abrasive in what he did. But when you look at like one of the most evil people of all time, he's up there. Like Joseph Stalin killed like how many people? How many people did Adolf Hitler kill? Adolf Hitler kill. Nazi genocide, murdered 16 million victims overall. 16 million. How many people did Joseph Stalin kill? John Wick. Joseph Stalin kill. Killed 6 to 9 million people. Here we go. That's not right. Yeah, I knew that wasn't right. How many people did Joseph Stalin kill? And it wasn't just like directly kill like concentration camps. I think that's why Adolf Hitler he's like the guy when people think of like max leaders. Most reputed scholars and historians estimate that the number of people Stalin killed ranges between 20 to 60 million. And a lot of that was from starvation, just not giving people food. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the wealth. So, like, the people that live nowadays, they probably will go down some of the rich people of all time, but they're not like that right now. And I think we need to spend a lot less time obsessing and hating these people and using what they do as, like, fuel for us. I look up to them. I would love to be on that stage. Like, Donald Trump and his real estate, that would be so cool to have real estate like he does. And, but, pay his employees and, like, pay people back, like, not be super dirty. I don't know. I think it's a complicated matter. Elon Musk showed up in Richard Branson's kitchen at 3 a.m. to wish him luck flying to the edge of space. Like, it's such a weird thing to say. Like, billionaires fly into space while somebody can't even get into they can't even afford their community college. Like, I have $4,000 to pay for Towson, and that's going to be hard. That's like a lot of money for me, to be perfectly honest. But these billionaires are just flying to space. But I don't get upset by that. It takes time. You got to invest in yourself. And these guys have invested in themselves. And they've done it in a way where they just don't care about other people's opinions. And that's why Richard Branson can go to space. But that's that. The final thing I want to talk about before I do sign off here is the Conor McGregor fight. I didn't buy it. I didn't watch it. I worked the next day on Sunday. But I watched the prelims. I watched a few of the fights. And Conor McGregor is the UFC. He's the reason why the UFC is so popular. He is the greatest marketer who's ever played a sport ever. He's the greatest trash talker of all time. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's one of the, if not the best businessman who has ever lived for sports. Maybe besides Floyd Money Mayweather. There's a reason why he's Floyd Money Mayweather. But his ankle broke. His body broke on him. Is that a conditioning issue? I don't think so. I think it's just a freak accident. Dustin Poirier is, and I had him winning that fight. And I guarantee if you ask Dustin Poirier, he didn't want to win like that. He wanted to win by staunching him, by choking him out. And will there be a fourth fight? I don't think so. Maybe this one's a wash, and you know, that would be pretty legit because then they can get paid double. But I know Dustin Poirier is going to go fight OVR. I forget his name. Because he's not the champ. He took the money before the title, which is such a smart move. Make your money, boy. Make your money. But yeah, it was a cool fight. I watched the highlights. You know, it is what it is. Conor McGregor broke his foot. But still, without Conor, you don't have the UFC. Without Conor, Dustin doesn't become a multi-million dollars in one day. But it is what it is. And also what it is this podcast is over. And infects vaccinated leader at Florida condo site. Whatever. Who cares? These stories are so dumb. Like, the coronavirus infects vaccinated leader at Florida condo site. Like, yes, it's going to infect people, but it's not going to kill you. Like, when do we just admit that if this, okay, one thing I just want to say. There's these outbreaks of coronavirus from the Delta variant and people who are not vaccinated. At this point, if you want the vaccination, you can get the vaccination. If you've been vaccinated, why are you worried about other people who don't get vaccinated? I don't care. Like, to me, it's like, I shouldn't have to pay for other people not getting vaccinated. I'm not upset with other people not getting vaccinated. Like, I don't care if you don't get vaccinated. I don't care if you get vaccinated 8 times. I don't care if you never get vaccinated. I don't care. But we got to move on. People don't have to get vaccinated. We have 60% of the countries one-shotted. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, when are we going to, people aren't dying anymore. Like, U.S. COVID death. The deaths are so minuscule. U.S. COVID deaths total. 27 deaths yesterday. I want a graph. Coronavirus, United States deaths. Here we go. Yeah, the deaths are so low, man. 120, 0, 86. People are dying, but like not by the thousands. I don't know. We got to move on eventually. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being an ass, but I think we got to move on eventually. Like, Jesus Christ. If you're not going to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated if you don't want to, but get vaccinated if you want to. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, this is my opinion. If I'm in a room of 100 people, I don't even think about people being vaccinated or not been vaccinated because I have been vaccinated. So why should I care? Anyways, that last part's going to get this video knocked off of YouTube. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to go watch the vlog episode 1, you can go ahead. It's up right now. It's called like the vlog series number 1. Welcome back. But that's it for episode 208 of the Michael Lab Show. I will see everybody on Thursday with episode 209 of the Michael Lab Show. Have a beautiful, great day. Like, comment, subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. See ya.